Our guest now, Traci Wansack, says that she wants to offer her life's journey to anyone seeking hope. Although she has walked through the challenges of infertility, multiple miscarriages, and a rare form of cancer, she concludes that God's fingerprints can be found all over the canvas of her life. Traci, great to have you with us.
Good morning.
Good to have you.
Thank you
Now,
for having me.
You're a recent transplant
Yes.
from Ohio.
Yes.
You're brand new to Canada. How is it so far?
It's wonderful.
Oh, good.
It really, really is.
I'm a transplant too. I'm
Okay.
American as well, but I've been up here a long time, and I think Canadians are pretty special. I'm a Canadian as well.
Well, thanks for saying that, hon. I take that as a compliment.
It is a good.
Bloom where you're planted.
That's right. That's right.
Now, Traci, you described much of your early life as kind of being fun and simple,
Yeah.
just kind of enjoying life. What did you mean by that?
I was raised in a small town in southern Ohio by two loving parents, and my childhood friends being in the woods, playing behind the house, just being in nature. I just had a natural ability to appreciate God in those times and just play and laugh and find your sense of humor, and don't take yourself too seriously, but take God seriously. And that's just the way I've always been raised.
And then you met the love of your life and
Yes.
got married.
Yes.
And you did have a precious baby girl.
Did. Miss
Caroline.
Caroline Lauren Wansack, yes.
Yeah. And how old is Caroline now?
She is 16.
16. Okay. But it was after Caroline's birth
Yes.
that things began to change. What
Yes.
happened?
She was about 2 years old, and my husband and I looked at each other and thought, we'd love to have a sibling for Caroline. And we tried, and it wasn't working. I had the help of a fertility specialist in Cleveland at the time, and I went through 4 miscarriages and found myself at the bottom and really seeking why, asking Philip Yancey's question, why? What came to me is that why not? I am just, his child, and he helped me through that, through the miscarriages, and it was challenging.
It was really at that time of some initial diagnosis, and that you came to a point of really committing your life to God.
Yes.
Was it right around that time?
Wasn't it at a stoplight?
It was at a crossroads,
Yes.
on the corner of Clemens and Bradley in Westlake, Ohio.
You know exactly where it was.
I know exactly. I was in my car, and I was coming back from the doctor's appointment where I was told that I would miscarry for the 4th time. And I was crying out to him in the car, audibly, asking for his help and guidance, and said, I don't know why, Lord Jesus, but if this is your way, I need you to hold me through it. And I promise to you that I will accept whatever comes, but I want to work for you. Let me find you in this and do your work. And that has been my plan and purpose since that day.
So really it was going through one of the hardest times in your
Yes.
life that you really just surrendered everything
Yes.
to God, and that made all the difference.
Yeah, it was the turning point for me. It was January of 2002 that I learned that it was about to happen, and it did.
And the challenges were still beginning, and still
Yes.
more to come, because you had exploratory surgery done to find out what is the
Yes.
problem, and what was discovered.
Right after that doctor's appointment, there was a laparoscopic surgery that was scheduled to go in and see why I was losing the babies, and they found a tumor on my appendix, and knew that it was something that you shouldn't touch with that, and they thought I had endometriosis, but upon exploratory surgery and the biopsies, it revealed that the tumor was actually cancer of the appendix, or PMP, pseudomyxoma peritoneous syndrome. It goes by PMP, and the mucin was not endometriosis. It was actually the tumor from my appendix rupturing and creating mucin in my abdomen, my peritoneum, that created, we don't know if it created the miscarriages, because this is a woman and a man's disease, and But for me, I know in my heart that that was the sound of the trumpets alerting to my illness.
So I held up, in the opener of the program, I held up a page
Yes.
where you were featured in the University Hospital's promotion
Yes.
as undergoing a very special treatment.
Yes.
What did they do?
It's heated intraperitoneal chemotherapy. And what it is they go in and they open you up and clear out the tumor and in organs that are affected with the disease. And then they clean up and make your abdomen clean again. And then they put the heated chemotherapy liquid in, so it's not systemic treatment that goes through your veins like your traditional cancer. This is a different type of treatment for specific to this disease.
It was called a chemotherapy bath.
Yes,
really, in your
chemo
abdomen.
bath. Yes,
And it worked.
it worked.
Praise
It
God.
worked.
Praise God, it worked.
And I just had my checkup on Friday with an annual checkup on Friday, and I know that it's going to come back clean and fine. And 12 years later, I'm
Amazing.
Praise
God
God.
is using me. Yeah.
Now, you brought along a few pictures right in kind of the post-cancer time.
Yes.
And let's have a look, and you let us know what you see
Okay.
in the photos.
This is Miss Caroline, and she is 5 years old there. That is about a year after my treatment, and I'm able to hold her and be strong. And this one is my dear friends from Avon Lake, Ohio, and such that put on a team, for cancer research. Raised funds.
For that particular kind of rare research, right?
Yes.
Rare cancer research.
Yes. And these are other patients. My doctor, Dr. Lowy, Andrew Lowy, and Debbie Saldano on either ends, bookends of the team. These are all patients that have been treated by him and have received heated
You
intraperitoneal.
form a bond, don't you? when
Yes.
A shared
Yes.
experience
Yes.
like that. Well, God wasn't finished
That's right.
enlarging your family.
And I am thankful to him.
After being declared healed, your daughter kind of had been asking for a long time about
Yes.
a special request.
What was that?
She planted the seed for a baby brother. She wanted a brother named AJ, and I didn't know where I was going to come up with AJ, what it would stand for, but I have an Andrew James now, and he is 8.5, and we adopted him from Russia. My husband and I adopted him from Russia. And there he
There
is.
he is.
There
Look
he
at
is.
So
him.
that was around the adoption time?
That was the
point?
second trip to Russia.
Okay.
And we had already, he was given to us. We went through court, and that was his adoption, or his orphanage. And a lot of what you told about the Ukraine orphanages, it's the same situation with the Russian orphanages. It's in many ways the children are raised because the biological parents have no resources to care for them.
So not
And
all of
so
the children in the orphanage are
are
parentless.
Yes.
Some of them are abandoned.
They're just abandoned.
Yeah.
And so it's the same situation.
So when you were there, I can hear you inhaling, and you're wanting to ask, I want to ask a question too.
I just wanted to
ahead.
mention that we've had somewhat of a connection with the Russian adoption because my sister Elaine and her husband Bruce adopted two precious kids from Russia many years back. They're now adults, but anyway,
Wonderful part of our
it's
family.
an amazing
is.
story.
So
truly is.
being there
Yes.
and adopting AJ, you
Yes.
named him Andrew James.
Yes.
Your heart was stirred, and you thought, you know what? There's so many kids that need a home. We're not done. We want to adopt again
Yes.
from Russia, but unfortunately you couldn't.
Unfortunately, when my husband and I, 4 years later, this was in 2010, went to our agency to say we're ready to go back to the same orphanage, they advised us elsewhere because things were tightening up, and in fact, you can't adopt from Russia now. They've closed adoption. I shouldn't. Yes, I'm pretty sure I'm accurate that they haven't reopened it yet. But anyway, I had been going to a prayer group with a teacher friend of mine. I'm a school teacher by trade, and I had been going to support her in her church, and never asked for a prayer for myself. Just listened to other people's prayers, and at that point, I asked, if there's a child in this world, I raised my hand up and said, if there's a child in the world, please make it clear, God, just keep coming at us, because he will salt and pepper your life with his goodness, and we just need to be open to hear or to see. He gives us 5 senses, and we need to use them all with God. And and I said, if there's a child in the world, please make it clear. And 2 weeks later, a beautiful birth mother started coming to the prayer group. She was in the process of working with Catholic Charities to adopt her child out. She was struggling. That's why she came. Someone was in the room when I asked for a prayer, and then shared with her that it was I that wanted to adopt. And she came faithfully for 4 weeks before she asked me, but she did nudge me on my shoulder 6 weeks later from my prayer and asked me if my husband and I would be interested in adopting her child, that she would stop working with Catholic Charities. At that point, we, just were in complete prayer. We knew that God was answering. And yes, she is a beautiful baby, healthy, 2.5.
And
There
here's a
she
picture
is.
of your 3
Yes.
beautiful children. Who are we looking at?
Caroline, who is 16, Mary Clara, who is 2.5, and AJ, who is 8.5. And for her, I was there. My husband and I were in the delivery room. We had been the birth mother was 23 weeks along, gestationally, and she had asked us to be a part of the labor and delivery and the doctor's appointments leading up. It is unclear if I will ever see her again. But we had developed a strong foundation of love that was Christ-centered, and the purpose was met, and we're grateful. We were there for her birth and cut the cord, and
Yeah.
he's
I know
miraculous.
one of the verses you've told us. In fact, you brought your journal. We don't have
Yes.
time to get into your
Yes.
journal, but there are several verses in there that you had written out, and one of the passages was Proverbs 3, 5, and 6.
Yes, lean not on
Trust in the Lord with
all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. And He has. And I look for Him every day, and I am grateful for the gift of laughter that He has given me. I have a wicked sense of humor sometimes, and I am grateful for the people that are in my lives that I can share it with. And
Traci, it's just a beautiful testimony of a life committed to God. You had that crossroads experience
Yes, I did.
where you just surrendered completely to Him, and then you watched how He unfolded His
Yes.
blessings afterwards.
He brought you through some difficult times, and now the joy that we see on your face.
Yes.
And I know there are people watching, Traci, who are so encouraged by your story, bringing them hope. If you want prayer, if you're saying, I need prayer, please give us a call on our prayer lines. God's there for you. Traci, thank you so much for sharing.
Traci.
Thank you.
And thanks for being with us, everyone. See you next time.